At the intersection of dreamy suburban bliss and the relentless weight of guilt, Still Life presents a disturbing narrative about a woman, Kate, who awakens from a comatose state to realize that her life in an idyllic suburban home is nothing more than a figment of her imagination. The true reality, a life sentence in prison, punctuates her nightmare with a sense of irreversible loss. On a surface level, the episode seems to evoke sympathy for Kate's predicament, the trauma of waking up to a life of imprisonment after tasting freedom, even if that freedom was only a dream. Yet beneath the surface lies a web of complex psychological and philosophical inquiries into the nature of guilt, reality, and identity. Through a contemporary lens, we can view Still Life as an exploration of the human psyche and its relationship with fabricated idealism, societal expectations, and the weight of unresolved trauma. In Still Life, Kate's ideal suburban life is the epitome of over-polished, postmodern perfection. Han's critique of late-stage capitalism suggests that modern individuals are driven by the urge to optimize and maximize every aspect of their existence. In her dream, Kate is the embodiment of this idealized existence, perfect, unconflicted, and happy. But this utopia is hollow, much like Han's description of contemporary society, where individuals chase goals that are ultimately empty. The happy housewife role that Kate imagines is a response to the dehumanizing, relentless pressures of a world that demands self-improvement and perfection, leading to the construction of an artificial refuge. However, this refuge cannot endure. Kate's subconscious attempts to overcompensate for a fractured self, but reality, as it so often does in Han's view, shatters this illusion. The prison of her real life becomes an inescapable reminder of the fact that societal perfection is a myth, and the pursuit of happiness often costs us something more valuable: authenticity. The concept of the idealized woman, nurturing, obedient, and emotionally supportive, plays a central role in Kate's dream world. Buxton and Whiting's exploration of feminist philosophy, particularly their focus on the ethics of care, offers an insightful critique of Kate's self-construction. Her dream life reflects deeply ingrained gendered expectations. She imagines herself fulfilling the perfect role of a wife and mother, roles traditionally tied to a patriarchal understanding of femininity. So, Kate's transformation, both literal and psychological, when she awakens into a harsh reality of her incarceration, can be seen as a feminist reclaiming of selfhood. It's an unwelcome but necessary confrontation with the roles that society forces women to play. The horror Kate experiences is not merely the loss of her dream, but the realization that she has been boxed into a predetermined life. However, upon awakening, she is no longer the perfect woman in her dream, but a far more complex, flawed individual who must now grapple with a much more painful self-awareness. Emmanuel Kochia, I hope I'm saying that right. Emmanuel Kochia's exploration of interconnectedness between beings and their environments provides a unique insight into Kate's relationship with her idealized dream world. Her dream is a garden carefully constructed to sustain a vision of a perfect life, but as Kochia argues, no life exists in isolation. Kate's internal world, for all of its perfection, is inextricably linked to the external world. Her trauma, her guilt, and her crime inevitably destroy her dream, like a garden choked by invasive weeds. This plastic reality she creates for herself is an escape, but it cannot long survive outside the natural order of her punishment and guilt. This episode made me think of Plato's allegory of the cave presented in the Republic. I think this offers a timeless metaphor for the human struggle between illusion and reality. This allegory describes prisoners chained in a cave, perceiving shadows cast on the wall as their only reality. When one prisoner escapes and experiences the outside world, they encounter the blinding truth of reality and the profound discomfort it brings. The allegory critiques humanity's inclination to accept comforting illusions rather than confront the challenging truths of existence. In Still Life, Kate's coma functions as her cave, a space where she constructs a serene suburban existence as a shield against the bleak reality of her incarceration. Much like the prisoners in Plato's cave, Kate's consciousness is chained to shadows, a dreamlike reality she perceives as truth. Her idyllic suburban life represents the shadows on the cave wall, an illusion crafted by her mind to protect her from the emotional and psychological torment of her actual predicament. The self-constructed reality is, for Kate, a place of comfort. In Plato's framework, such a state reflects humanity's preference for ignorance over enlightenment. The cave is dark and restrictive, yet familiar and unchallenging, much like the world Kate has created. Her inability to face the truth of her situation mirrors the prisoner's reluctance to leave the cave. For Kate, waking up would mean confronting the enormity of her crimes and the despair of life imprisonment, a reality she avoids at all costs. Plato's prisoners see shadows projected by objects they cannot perceive directly. Similarly, Kate's idyllic world is a shadow of her desires, projected by her subconscious mind. The meticulously crafted suburban life, with its pristine lawns and cheerful ambience, reflects her yearning for normalcy and redemption. Yet these elements are mere facades, much like the shadows in the allegory. They lack the substance of reality and serve only to keep Kate in a state of denial. In Plato's terms, Kate is enthralled by phantasms, a term referring to deceptive appearances that mask the truth. Her dreamlike existence is not inherently evil, but it is limiting. It prevents her from engaging with the full spectrum of her humanity, including the potential for growth and atonement that could arise from facing her crimes. The prisoner who escapes the cave in Plato's allegory initially finds the light of the sun, symbolizing truth, blinding and painful. Similarly, when Kate begins to wake from her coma, the process is jarring and disorienting. The episode's climax, where she confronts her actual fate, parallels the prisoner's confrontation with the real world. For Kate, the light of truth is unbearable. She recoils from it, preferring the comforting shadows of her fabricated life. In the allegory, the escaped prisoner faces hostility when they return to the cave and attempt to enlighten the others. In still life, this theme manifests internally. Kate's subconscious mind battles against the truth, silencing any enlightened parts of herself that might challenge her idyllic reality. Her refusal to wake up symbolizes a rejection of the painful yet necessary process of self-awareness and accountability. The tragedy of still life lies in Kate's ultimate choice to remain in her cave. Unlike Plato's ideal philosopher who embraces the light and seeks to share it, Kate retreats into darkness. Her decision reflects not just personal weakness, but a broader existential dilemma: the difficulty of choosing truth over comfort in a world filled with illusions. In the end, still life captures the timeless essence of Plato's allegory. How we are often chained by the illusions we create, fearing the painful liberation of truth. It reminds us that the journey toward enlightenment, though fraught with discomfort, is a vital aspect of our growth as individuals and societies. As we reflect on Kate's story, we're left to ponder: what shadows are we still watching, and what truths are we too afraid to face? It is only by confronting these questions that we can begin to step out of our own caves and into the light of understanding. Watch this video next.